Hey everybody, it's Alara. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by and having a look around. I apologize for a croaky voice today. I am getting over some pretty awful crud. If you are coming back, have subscribed before, thank you so much for following along and being patient with me in my not consistent filming, even when it's not my choice. So if a strained voice and or coughing bothers you, you may want to skip this video. I'm actually getting over pneumonia. Yeah, I had a virus. I had a fever for an entire week, 7 days straight. I slept most of the week away. I went to urgent care about 5 days into it, and they put me on a course of steroids to try to control the coughing, and she gave me some antibiotics and said if the cough isn't improved after like 5 days on the steroids, we're just going to treat you for pneumonia, basically. And yeah, it definitely, and I've had pneumonia and bronchitis multiple times in my life, and this definitely felt like pneumonia. I'm feeling much better. I am very, very weak still. I had to use it. I probably should have gone to the hospital at some point. I actually bought a pulse oximeter about 2 weeks into it, just after I started feeling a little better. I wish I'd thought about it before, just, you know, kind of for giggles. And my O2 stats were not good. I was like, oh, if it's like this now, I probably should have gone last week, but c'est la vie, I made it through okay. So yeah, I had to use a shower chair for about a week and a half just because I couldn't stand long enough to get through a shower. I'm still only able to stand for off and on maybe an hour or so during the day before I'm just very weak. I didn't eat much after my gallbladder, and I wasn't even 100% recovered from gallbladder surgery when all this went down, so that's been fun. I'm really hoping I didn't give myself a hernia from all the coughing and not being quite healed up. So hopefully that's not a thing. I did not stitch for the week, obviously, that I had the fever and was in bed. After that, the only thing I could do was stitch. So I have 19 projects to show you today. Yeah, I have 3 finishes. They're small, but I do have 3 finishes to show you as well out of those 19 projects. I did continue to like draw projects as I was doing before. I just wasn't able to do it with you guys. I don't know. We'll see how I feel towards the end of the video. We may have to put off, we might just have an entire video of me just crossing crap off the board. No, that's not gonna happen, but I'm hoping, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how I feel towards the end of the video. But yeah, 1 week I stitched over 10,000 stitches. That was kind of crazy after I added them all up. But like I said, that's the only thing I could do. I just started working a little bit here and there in the last few days, just because I have to get things out for our business, where people are going to start getting really mad. So yeah, this is probably going to be a stupid long video. Excuse me. But I have a month's worth of stuff to show you, and yeah, anyway, okay, where do I start? I have a little bit of haul to show, nothing crazy. Plans are to continue as I have been. There's some exciting stuff coming up as far as activities for me go. So yeah, and my poor son, my 6-year-old, he actually was sick with a fever, and I got it from him. I had to have, the initial illness, and I think both of us ended up with pneumonia because he was sick the day of my surgery. My husband actually had to, I think I might have explained this in my last video. My husband had to stay home, and my oldest took me to the hospital for the surgery. But he has been coughing ever since. It was February 8th. he was sick on the 7th, so about February 7th. He just is starting to stop coughing like me, and it took a round of antibiotics for him. I was not real happy with his pediatrician for waiting that long to prescribe an antibiotic. I understand why they're not prescribing antibiotics right off the bat anymore, but when you're sick for that long, there's probably an infection going. Anyway, I know it's practice. Medicine is practice, not an art, or it is a practice and an art, not a science, sort of. Okay, now enough babbling. It's 5 minutes in already. Let's get going, or we're gonna be here forever. Okay, let's start with my finishes. Again, this I think these are all start and finishes. I don't remember if I had started this one. No, I had not. I had just finished the wedding favors at the end of the last Flosstube, so I have 3 starts and finishes. The first one I want to show you is a little kit by Dimensions. It's called Flower Mason Jar. It's on 14 count, 8 of fabric. I just used all the kit stuff. It came with a little wooden hoop, and I'm probably going to go ahead and frame it in that. It needs a wash, but here is my start. And look, I did tons of back stitching. Go me! I was very proud of myself. I did all the back stitching in one go. This was like 1,700 plus stitches, and I did this in just over a day. This is during the week of I can't do anything else but stitch, so I'm stitching. But yeah, it turned out really cute. I don't sign my projects. I don't know why. I just don't. I can never get my initials to look right, so meh. And, you know, if it goes out of my family, nobody's going to know who KMR is anyways. Right. Then next I did one of my Christmas ornaments was finished. This had a total of, now the Flower Mason jar was actually more than what the stitches were. It was 1,600 stitches for those, but I was so close to the finish that I was like, screw it, I'm going to finish it. This one was, where's this one at? Oh, here it is. It called for 700 stitches to be done on it, and it only took 430 plus the back stitching to finish it. I didn't count back stitching because back stitching stresses me out enough as it is. I'm not going to count it. I'm just going to do it. So this is an ornament out of an older, like, vintage book, the 100 cross-stitch Christmas ornaments by somebody. They don't do a great job of, like, promoting who they are. There's a lot of credits in the front, so I'm not going to go through those. That's the book it comes out of. Try not to shake you too much. But this is a rocking horse. Isn't it cute? And this is supposed to be loose as far as what the directions said. Because it's the reins. But yeah, I had to frog a little bit. I was so mad. I was like, this is not enough stitches to warrant frogging. But I fixed it so it looked right. I don't know how I'm going to finish any of these ornaments. I am not a finisher, especially of like fancy things. So yeah, I don't know. At some point I'll look at like YouTube tutorials or idea videos or something. I don't know. It'll get done eventually. And then this last finish is actually very special. This was a model stitch for a shop on Etsy called RootMade, RootMade. I will link her down below. The owner is Crystal Root, and she does design all of these on, like, she's the designer. She's actually pretty local to me. She's up in Lima, Ohio, or Lima. I don't know how they actually say it, but whatever. And yeah, she had put a call out on one of the Facebook groups that she was looking for model stitchers so that she could put, you know, stitched pieces up on her, or, you know, stitched pictures up on her Etsy page. And I double checked a little bit ago, excuse me, and just to make sure, you know, the shop was still up to date and everything. And she's added quite a few really cute patterns, a lot of animals in there. And she actually does donate a portion of her proceeds to a local animal welfare place. I forget the name of it, but it's in her about page on Etsy. It's called Bluebird on Thorn Branch. This is stitched on, where's my card? This is stitched 2/2 on 32 count linen from Die Stitch Love. This was their 2015 fabric of the month called Lilith. And this had 5,482 stitches in it. And I love how this turned out. And it was so fun to stitch. Like, I mean, obviously with the black, I just outlined all the black and then I filled it all in. And then I stitched the branches and the leaves. But it was, I mean, I use Pattern Keeper, so I can't, like, super vouch for how easy a paper, like her paper pattern would be to read. But I had no problem with, you know, getting it in a Pattern Keeper and stuff and reading it that way, so. But I think if I had to do it again on this fabric, I would probably do it 3/1 just for a little bit better coverage. But it's not terrible. I really love how she charted those leaves too. So, but again, this is Bluebird on Thorn Branch. Go give her shop a little look. There's not a ton of patterns in there, but yeah. So I am going to be getting that framed so that I can get a nice picture for her shop. I need to get that done sooner than later, but again, with being sick, there was very, like, as I was saying, I had almost no appetite after my surgery, and then when I got sick, that just continued. So part of my weakness comes from just not having had proper nutrition for almost a month and a half. Well, yeah, almost a month and a half now. So my brain is not up 100%, and certainly was not up for doing much of anything but stitching. Okay, so I do have notes in my lap, otherwise there's no way I'm going to be able to remember what I want to remember. Okay, so we left off with drawings that you did know about. So first up, let's see how I'm going to do this. I didn't really put them in order. I should have. I apologize. There's all the bags and stuff are not open, just because otherwise I could not keep it straight very well. Okay, so Summertime Fair. I'm actually going to edit pictures in just because I don't feel like fighting with the tablet. And unfortunately, I have a lot of stuff to scroll through on Pattern Keeper to find what I want to find. So, bear with me. Where's she at? And I deleted some patterns out of my Pattern Keeper, so it looks different, and now I'm having to actually look for the patterns. There she is. I don't know how much information is in here. This is by Vsaw on Facebook. She charts her stuff up with pixelstitch.net, and I don't know how she gets them so fantastic looking, but I love them. Yeah, there's not a lot of. It's 480 by 480, perfect square. I am stitching this on 32 count. Oh, I wrote it on there, 480 by 480. Anyway, this is on 32 count China fabric, 1/1 full cross, and it called for 400, and I actually moved her, I moved her over to Pattern Keeper, not Pattern Keeper, Markup, because markup will read the symbols much better than Pattern Keeper will on Pixel Stitches stuff. So let me open that one up because I don't remember. But yeah, when I moved it over, I forgot to take, I didn't migrate all of the, I can't migrate it, but I didn't mark up all of the progress. And then I stitched right after putting progress in and forgot to note what stitch count it was at. So I'm not exactly sure how many I stitched, but it's somewhere between 500 and 600 stitches. And so far she has a total of 1,357 stitches. She's 0.6% complete. And I did not feel like going through and looking at all my progress pics to see where I looked, but there's the before and after. I know I didn't do this thread, and it didn't fit in the cube. It wasn't in the hoop where I was working where I put it in. Did I work? I don't know. I filled a lot of that in, I think. So this is one I'd like to see some more progress on for sure. There are so many of her charts on my wish list. Not even my wish list because they're free, but on my I want to do list. And I have to rein myself in, obviously, with all these craziness starts. Okay, next up is another ornament. This is one of the Dimensioned ornaments. This is, the pattern is from a kit, but I do not have the kit materials. Well, that's partly lies. She actually sent the leftover threads to me, so I was able to use leftover threads so far on what I've worked on, and this was for the polar bear, so I worked on this guy. And he was for 600 stitches, and I put 605 in. I am stitching this on a 14 count black plastic canvas. And because I thought with an ornament, you know, I can just basically cut it out, smooth it out. And then if I cut it out right, I'll have a hanger. And I don't have to worry about, like, finishing it. If I'd thought about it, I might have, like, put a little bit of margin in to, like, whip the edges. I might still be able to whip the edges, but I'm doing this 3/1 because it's on black, so, and because there's so much white, that's a little bit hard to get through. But this is my progress on it. Is it any better? Not really. No, it's too see-through. I keep forgetting to grab a piece of... There we go. I don't know if that's any better or not. Anyways, 605 stitches. Mostly his face. Little nose. I did do a minor alteration for his nose, because that was charted kind of weird, and the way the back stitch was, I didn't like how it looked, so I made it symmetrical. Kind of scattered. I'm always scattered, but this is probably worse than. There. His eyeballs are so tiny. I didn't notice before how tiny their eyeballs are. They're just a couple of French knots. That's funny. So his eyes are going to go right in there. I don't know why that tickles my funny bone, but it does. And y'all, I actually got bored of stitching because that's all I could do. And I think it was during that 10,000 stitch count week that I did it. But I actually started working on plans for next year. I was like, why not? And I think, like, stuff that I can finish or have potential to finish in a relatively short time, those are going to go to next year too. All right. And then I worked on the Cross Stitch Studio in the Garden. This is a mystery sale from last year. It called for 300 stitches. I got 363 stitches in. And it is a peppermint rose. Get back over to Pattern Keeper. Whee. This is 275 by 275 stitches. It is stitched, it's only got 99 color, it's got 99 colors. I am stitching this on a 32 count, I did not write this down, 32 count, it's a pretty natural looking linen. And I am at no percent. I forgot. I'm actually finishing off the page I'm on, so because I have the full pattern now rather than just all of the individual pages, but I'm going to finish the page that I'm on and then just mark the whole pages off and then start working off the full pattern. So I actually don't know the percentage of this yet. I almost finished the page. It's still not quite done. This page 1 and page 2 are finished, and then you can see the little holes that are left. Roses are my favorite flowers, so yeah, I'm looking forward to having this done someday. It's just not a priority at the moment. So that is In the Garden, aka Peppermint Rose. That one I'm stitching 1/1 full cross as well. All right. Okay, next was a Mill Hill kit from their Buttons and Beads Spring Series from a year. I don't know what year. 2022. This is on 14 count perforated paper. This is called Blue Morpho Butterfly. It is Some Odd Stitches by Some Odd Stitches. I actually got that into, did I put that in markup? Yeah, I put that in markup too. You guys, I'm telling you, markup for paper patterns, if you have a scanner and a computer and can scan the photos in and make them into a PDF to put into markup, it's a godsend. So fun. Like makes paper patterns much more enjoyable, and I don't actually have to like do the clicker thing, which it works, but it's really fun when you are, you know, several hundred stitches in and accidentally zero it out. That's really fun. This was supposed to get 400 stitches. It ended up with 455 after I finished the thread. You really need to get something to put behind this or anything else that I need. Will this work? Yeah, that might work. Ta-da! Oh, did I show you what it's going to look like? I sure didn't. That's what it's going to look like. And that's what I got done. The butterfly is a lot bigger. Like, to stitch it, it's bigger than it looks in the photo. Which, I mean, I know the photo's tiny, but you know what I mean. Got my floss all organized. Got my beads. Better put those away before I lose them. Okay, and it's got a little button to go with it eventually. Okay. Sorry if I don't put these back together. My poor little brain is going to melt because it's just not. Even on good days, I'm not usually prepared to do that. Okay, then I got sick. Did not stitch for a week, and now we are in March. Okay, that was the rest of February stitching. I gotta take a drink. My throat is very dry already. Okay. Now, None of these you'll have actually seen because I didn't get to draw these with you. So these are all going to be surprises. All right, next up I started Songs Under the Cherry Tree. This is a piece by Chris Ortega, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is the mini version. She is 232 by 325 and contains 88 colors. I am stitching her on a lovely 25 count. I think it's 25. No, 28 count even weave. I wish I had noted down what company this was from, because this is a really nice even weave to stitch on. I was thoroughly happy with this. Okay, this looks totally weird, by the way, because I was not in any shape to grid fabric for this first week that I was working. So the new starts that I had not had gridded or anything like that, I didn't grid. So far, it worked out okay. I don't think I had any major mistakes that I could find so far. But the center start for her meant her lips. I'm telling you, the whole time I'm like, oh my god, this looks like an alien. This is so weird. But I think in the end it turned out okay. Like, you can start really see the outline of her face coming in. This is definitely one of those trust the process, because the colors used for her skin feel very dark, but that's the pattern. There's a lot of dark around her, so it has to create that illusion. So she was called to have 700 stitches. I put 721 in her. She's at 0.96%. I was actually pretty happy with what I got to see for only 700 stitches. Okay. You guys, this is the most talking I've done in 3 weeks. Alright, that same day, this was the week that I did 10,595 stitches that week. A lot of it was because I was catching up on the Heaven and Earth Designs stitch along, and my dragons stitching, because I hadn't gotten to stitch on those. The next one is Golden-Eyed Fairy. Now, I called this Golden-Eyed Fairy. It is not Golden-Eyed Fairy, it is Golden-Eyed Dragonling. But I had been saying, and I noted everything, that it was Golden-Eyed Fairy. Oops. But if you're looking for her on Heaven and Earth Designs, she is Golden-Eyed Dragonling. Pattern Keeper only shows me golden-eyed, so my brain just filled something in, I guess, I think. She is also a mini. This is artwork by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. She is 260 by 325 stitches, and she also has 88 colors. Again, I did not grid her. This is on 28 count even weave China fabric. And again, it was a middle start, and that was the snoot of the dragon and his eye. I did a lot in his eye, and oh my gosh, the confetti in his eye was kind of unreal. There are so many colors in his eye. It was fun. I had a lot of fun with it. You can kind of see, like, this is the top of his muzzle or whatever, and then this will come down and be his little beak, and then his cheek right here, and then that's his eye. So this was called to have 500 stitches, and I put 557 in for a total of 0.66%. And some of these, you know, full coverage pieces that have like a pathetic little amount on them, I'm really trying to give you guys something to look at. So that you're not going, that's a boring start. I couldn't help it on one of them. The one I did today, there was no avoiding it. I need to keep a lot of these out and get them serged, because again, I did not have the capacity for serging. All right, next one was another start. This was B by Lorna Lane, charted by Gecko Rouge. This is a kit from their company. This one's really popular. I think this is like their #1 seller, or at least top 10, or, you know, bestseller or whatever. I started up in this corner because they give so much extra fabric. I'm like, I have ornaments in the bottom corner if I actually move it up to a smaller margin that I'm used to working with. So, this is stitched 28 on 28 count even weave, easy guide, which I am honestly not a super huge fan of. I don't like having to remember what part of the square I'm stitching. This was called for 600 stitches, and I put in 605. It is at 0.93%. And it really doesn't look like much. There's some, like, the little spooches right there is what I did, and started on the edge of that flower. But the bubbles are all done. There we go. Doing this one over one full cross. Is there anything else I want to say about that one? I don't think so. I should really start making notes of, like, things that happen when I stitch, and I'm like, oh, I should talk about that, and then I never remember what it is that I want to talk about. So then you just end up getting stats and numbers. Okay, and then that same day, excuse me, I actually started Flower Mason Jar. I did 3 projects the one day: Songs Under the Cherry Tree, Golden-Eyed Dragonling, and then I started the Flower Mason Jar, I think. I don't know, there's like 5 projects all in 2 days. Excuse me. And then, okay, next was the start. This was one of my ornaments again. This is one of the gnomes. This is the one with the ornament. I ended up putting him, I think, in some markup as well. They do okay on Pattern Keeper. But I find it's easier to put him in the markup, to be honest. But since he was already there, I stitched him in Pattern Keeper. Where are my gnomes at? In there. Okay. Alright, Ornament Gnome is 60 by 56. He is not full coverage. He does have some, well, you'll see, he does have a little bit of backstitch. Okay. And as the other ornaments, or the other gnomes are, they're all stitched on this purple Witch Olt lavender lilac, I can't remember what they called it. 16 count Ada. He was called for 1,300 stitches, and I put 1,345. He is, like, got a huge chunk done. Oh, that's washing out so bad. There, that's better. You can see his beard has some shading, and I was hoping to get the ornaments in, but I got his shoes done. They're so cute. But, yeah. It was just taking threads and going where they going. I don't remember. I think it was kind of color completing. That's why I really didn't get to the ornaments themselves. Look, I was trusting my counting here. So that's Ornament Gnome. These are all from 4stitch.com. I did get them off of Etsy, but I don't remember the store's name, but they do have their website still up. So number 4stitch.com. I will link them down below as well. next is Lucia. This is a mini. This artwork is by Micah Jelena, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is one of the few, well, I'll talk about that more towards the end of the year. Unless you guys want to start hearing plans for next year. Oops. No, I don't want to go into the pattern. Yeah, this is Mini Lucia. She is 150 by 325 stitches, and she has 90 colors. Oh, I guess it would help if I actually got her out, huh? I am stitching her on 18 count Aida. I'm actually going to need, I'm going to need to get another piece of, bigger piece of 18 count Aida. I don't have any more 18 count. I'm going to have to get another piece so that I can match Mini Melita to her. She was called to have 400 stitches, and I put 410 stitches in. She's at 0.84%. I did one color of the frame, and that's it. Super boring. I know. I'm sorry. I think next year is going to be nothing less than 500, but I'm also taking less projects into next year by about a third. So, but yeah, I want them to match. It's a little bigger than my preference, but I had 18 count to use up, so I did. Now I've got to get more. Okay, I had another butterfly come up. This is by Michelle Ink Designs, called Harlequin Butterfly. I am not stitching the called for colors. I don't like how they blend. The colors are beautiful, but I don't think they were well chosen together, to be honest. Sorry to the designer. No hate meant. Again, I got this scanned into my computer and made it into a PDF. I am stitching, and I'm nervously stitching these with a couple of Karen watercolors that I had in my stash for Forever and Ever Amen. This color is called Bermuda Reef. Here we go. It's a little greener than that. And this one is Carnival. Here we go. That's pretty true to color. Really nice variegated, like highly variegated floss there. These are a 3-ply cotton floss. And it said to use 1 ply on 11 to 20 count fabrics. This is an 18 count Zweigart in the color Vintage. I think it's Zweigart. Pretty sure it's Zweigart. It's really thick. I thought about doing 10 stitch, but then I was looking at the butterfly, and I don't think it would lend itself. So yeah, I'm crossing my fingers that I have enough of that floss that'll actually cover the butterfly. The background, I don't have much. She said she used 1 skein of floss for the stuff that she did. It's Silken Colors from the Thread Gatherer, but I don't know how many yards that has or anything like that. And she stitched hers on 36 count, so it's the same effective count, because I'm assuming she did hers over 2. And she said with 2 strands of silk. Oh no, she used 1 strand. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do if I run out. Maybe pull I have some silks that might work. But that's where I did, it called for 300. I ended up doing 407 because the lengths were so long. But Dared to butterfly so far. God is intended on. And the whole butterfly is outlined in Petite Treasure Braid, which I'm using PD09. Hopefully that'll go together pretty well. So I'm liking how the variegation's going. I'm trying to use, like when I pick this up again, I'm hoping I remember that I want to start here and go up to this other wing so that it's a relatively symmetrical variegation on it. And the way the wings are designed, I should be able to do kind of like, yeah, stripes like that. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see if I even remember what my plan, I have a video, record of what I want to do. I just have to, you know, dig it out when I get to it if I really want to. So, yeah, that was our looking butterfly. Cross my fingers that'll have enough. It'll be an adventure and experimentation if it's not, so it'll be okay. Okay. All right. I pulled Woodland Enchantress by Dimensions. This is a gold collection kit. This is stitched on 16 count gray Ada. If you watch Suki, the Brown-Eyed Stitcher, she has finished it. Is very close to finishing. Oh crap, I can't remember. Suki, did you finish this? I don't remember. I know she's been super busy, so. And this has, oh, so, okay, I keep talking up Markup RXP, and it's been out for forever. But, you know, as I just discovered it, kind of, not I've just discovered it, but I finally have used it. I love Pattern Keeper, don't get me wrong, but man, this definitely has its place, because I was actually able to scan in the chart for the Dimensions kit and put it into Markup RXP. Kind of amazing. Simply because, yeah, if you've ever stitched a Dimensions kit, you know it can be a bear to follow. I had to fold very precisely on the page folds so that it stopped right at the edge of a symbol, so that it, you know, it would scan everything and not have any overlap. But yeah, I was very, very pleased, and it is searching the symbols okay. Obviously, where the back stitch goes and covers half a symbol, I'm going to have to, like, obviously manually figure out what it is, but that's nothing new. But it's got a total of 40,657 stitches, not including back stitch, or, you know, all the extra stuffs. She was called for 1,000 stitches, and I put 1,085 in. Oops. And I started in the upper left-hand corner. I gridded based on the paper pattern, and I did this once before with one of my Gecko Rouge kits, where the paper pattern had it charted one way, and then when it scanned in, it had it, like, the grids were offset more. So this is not correct, really. I'm actually, well, I turned the grids off in Markup. This square is not correct, so every row down is incorrect. I gridded the whole dang thing. So I probably should iron it out before I forget that it's off by one. And correct it so that I'm not, yeah, so that I'm not boogering it up. But I worked in the background. Okay, you. Excuse me. I'm throwing everything up. Crap. Throwing everything. Ah, it's a disaster. What is happening? Oh my god, all the threads came out too. When it rains, it pours. Okay, let me turn the light back on. Watch, I'll have a coughing fit now. I'm going to have a coughing fit. I'll be right back. Okay, I think I'm all better now. I'm not going to guarantee I'm not going to throw stuff around, though, so. I'm still very congested, so now the crap going down the back of my throat is tickling it. So yeah, using the kit stuff, worked in the background. And this is the trees. This is the trunk of a tree in the foreground. Some more trees and the light coming through. Had a lot of fun working on it after it got into markup. I have no idea how long this video is because I'm having to break it up. So, yeah, very excited. And I actually, the biggest, I wouldn't say complaint, is that obviously with Dimensions has their own thread colors. So I just sort of visually matched, because I do like to see like the color going in, not just a flat. I could probably just do a flat color, which if I get tired of guessing thread colors, I'll do that. But because they don't have like a Dimensions thread pack thing, I do have to like reference the key to be able to stitch this, which is not a big deal. I have to do that for no, actually, once I put it into markup, the V-Saw patterns, when V-Saw patterns were in Pattern Keeper, I would have to reference the key because the threads wouldn't, it would read the symbols, but it didn't know what colors they were. With markup, you can actually, excuse me. No, I'm lying. Forget what I just said. Strike that. Reverse it. Okay. 2.7%. Yeah, I said that, I think. Okay, moving on. Next up is Veil Nebula. This is another Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is a NASA image. And gotta switch programs. Sorry for the sniffles. Pattern Keeper. Scroll. There it is. This is a supersized max color version. It's $9.99 by $6.66. I have a couple of pages, 2-3 pages done already. I don't know. I turned off the page breaks, to be honest, because I have found that I am much less frustrated isn't quite the word for it, but I find smaller pages, because I kind of have like page goals, are much easier for me to work with. So, and like on my tablet screen, 50 stitches wide is just about perfect for me to read anything on that particular field of view. So I turned off the page breaks and just worked by 50 rows or 50 stitches across this page. And this is what I've added. It called for 900 and I put 905 in. There is there are two colors in here. Believe it or not. There's a lot of subtle coloration with the background. There's going to be a lot of 939, 823 stuff that's not really going to show up, but it does add visually overall to the effective shading. Excuse me. And I've learned, obviously, with you can see that's a straight page break. With Dragons at the Spot, I have learned to do this kind of feathering so that there's less likely to be page lines. I think I've been, no, I can see a page line on that first page. So, but that's okay. That is okay. You can kind of see where I had different dye batches of black before I got my Cone of Doom here. This is where the Cone of Doom came in. But I think once it's pulled back, you're not going to be able to tell. It's going to be fine. So that felt good to get out. I really, really love this project, and it's just, unfortunately, I do need to... I am going to keep focus projects for next year. And, you know, you gotta... Some just don't make the team, you know? Gotta choose and pick. My gut needs to be smaller, so that my lap is bigger. I keep throwing my folder down. Okay, that is stitched on 28 count China fabric, and that's 1/1 full cross. Yeah. Okay. This next one is one that I have not shown very often on my channel. I had it put away for travel stitching for a long time. It is a China kit that uses the terrible, terrible rayon floss that you have to use thread conditioner or beeswax or something to condition it, or it's awful to work with. Kelly over at Kel Stitches, she has learned the magic of beeswax to stitch with these threads. I'm hoping I might have to find a before picture for my whip parade for a lot of these, because I didn't even have the brain capacity to remember to take pictures for a lot of them, like I was doing. I just call this feathers. It's not really titled. I don't have what it's supposed to look like picture because they didn't send one. And this is an 11 count fabric, 3/1 full cross. It was called 500, and I stitched 570 into this. I got a lot of that feather filled in. So it definitely, I think it's going to be pretty when it's done, but it's certainly not going to be the original picture close to, because there was a lot of color variation in these feathers that I don't think is going to come out very well. At least based on this feather. But that's okay. It's something different to work on. So I'll continue. I will continue with it. And I do like, I like how the shiny threads look. It's just a pain in the butt to work with them. Take that needle minder off. I like that one. It has a good magnet. Okay. Almost there, guys. Almost there. Is my voice grating on your nerves yet? Come on. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, today was one of my most anticipated starts. I have been trying to start this thing for forever, and I kept having not quite the right size fabric, or the fabric that I had did not work. Like, there was one linen I think I tried to start it on, and I was like, there's no way this is happening. But this is called Springtime Splendor Max Colors, artwork by Randall Spangler, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I do have a printout for this one. Unfortunately, this is 450 by 758, so it's a big one. Has 236 colors. Excuse me. And I started in the upper left-hand corner up here. But it only called for 300 for the start, and that made me really sad. Which is why I'm like, no more 300s. I'll be honest, I was really tempted to just keep going on it, but I wanted to record for one, and for two, I want to try and touch all my projects this year. They called for 300, but with the, this is actually stitched on a 32 count China fabric. And 1/1 full cross, and because it's such a small count, the thread goes a long way, so I ended up with 394 stitches. And because it's max color, the confetti is kind of crazy, so yeah, it looks like nothing. Look, even Project is sad about only having 400 stitches in it. So yeah, so I'll be happy when he's stitched in. He won't be sad anymore when there's stitches all around him. But I have 394 stitches, just green colors, greens and blues for the leaves, and a little bit of sky I think is poking through so far, but obviously you can't see anything on that. So, and this might be one of the rare ones that gets pulled for next year, even though technically it's not one that should be. And if you're interested in starting to hear about my plans for next year, let me know in the comments and I will talk about it, but it feels early for that. Excuse me. Gross. Okay. All right, the last two are my Are you done? I hope this is not super painful to watch, guys. Okay. The two of the three focus pieces for this year. The third one is not started yet. It's going to replace the Bluebird on Thorn branch slot, which I talked about, I think, in my last video. I have moved. This is my Heaven and Earth Designs stitch long. This is the Merry Mushroom Village 2, artwork by Amy Stewart, and is this like a really tiny snippet of the Merry Mushroom Village picnic. Charted by, obviously, Heaven and Earth Designs. This is 300 by 205 and has 90 colors. And I am at, oops, okay, that's for once I actually wanted to do that. I am at 14,987. I don't know exactly how many stitches I stitched on this because I forgot to do the math. I'll put it on the screen. Since the last time I filmed, I have moved it in the Q-snap, and it's like perfectly where I want it, so I'm not going to show the whole thing, but here it is so far. I finished the Ecru color and 3865 out of this section. That'll change, obviously, once the next installment comes out, I think. And then I've been filling in. I got bored of like color completing down here, and then so I came back up and I started. Is it stitched? Yeah, mostly stitched. I still have some ninja stitches around here to get, but I'm just started. Words. Slow down. Back up. I started working in the diagonal again to fill it in. So. Hard to see there. That's a little better. How much I've stitched. Pull it back. I'm like, oh, it looks like I did nothing. Still stitching the gnome's home. I'm convinced he lives in the mushroom. Okay, so, and that puts it at this installment at 65.35%. We are, what, 2 weeks away, I think, from getting the next installment, so I don't know how I feel about that. About having, oh, I'll have to stick the before shot before you, whatever. Sorry, editing me is going to be cussing myself up a storm. Again, I have the Q-snap exactly where I want it. Normally I would pull it off, but right now that's energy that I I don't necessarily have or want to spend on moving stuff around. So apologies for not having the gumption to show you all of it. But this is Dragons of the Sabbat. Oh, I am caught up, like as far as the stitching count goes. I'm caught up in with enough stitches for finishing at the end of the year. I have stayed on top of my dragons as well. I had to do 2,000 one week to catch up. But yeah, I have done however many weeks it's been. So like 4,000 stitches. That one would have been 4,800. So pretty close to probably 5,000 with the extra stitches for the Merry Mushroom Sow. I said I'd put the number up, but I probably didn't, because I just did short math for you, and I don't know that I want to do regular math, because that's where I'm at right now. Okay, so yeah, 4,000 stitches. I'm pretty sure they all show in the Q-Snap. So it's probably going to be a really crappy picture, but here's the before of that area. So I'll see if I can find a picture of where it was before. I got sick from because I really don't like taking pictures from the videos because they're terrible. It doesn't matter how high of a resolution you have, they always come out terrible. But here's where I'm at. Let me see if I can kind of unfold it a little bit so you can see. There we go. But you can see the outer circle starting to come in a bit. But yeah, this is going to be filled in next. That might even take me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That might be really close to the next 1,000 to fill that in. So I'm loving it, loving it. And after the end of this year, I should only have about 25,000 more black stitches to do. I will not get the whole thing done, but will this fit? Oh, okay. That's what I've stitched. It was a lot, I know. Again, I don't know how long this is because I'm gonna have to piece some clips together, but now I pulled 8 projects a couple of days ago. I wasn't sure if I was gonna have the energy or the voice to be able to record at all for however long, so I just went ahead and pulled my next batch, but I didn't look at them. So I will pull them and show you my next 8 projects, and it'll be mostly a surprise for me. Springtime Splendor obviously just got pulled, and I worked on today. Face of a Mermaid is next, because I pulled that for my next one, and then I was like, I think I'm going to film. So let's go ahead and pull the next, or see what the next 6 were. I have my baskets over here. I'm going to go ahead and pull another 8 because I don't know if I'm going to film this weekend or not. That feels really, really condensed. It depends on how much I get stitched. Let's leave it at that. Again, because I am back at work and because I am so slow, I don't know how much stitching time I'll have. So if it's like a really pathetic number of projects that I have, I won't bother. Unless you guys really want to see me again that soon. Let me know that in the comments too. Okay, so Victorian Charm. There. I don't know why it's so important to me that you see what I'm pulling, but it is. Christmas Ornaments, the Gnome Flag is getting pulled. I decided to stop worrying so much about how many stitches were in them, and I'm just going to pull like in groups of 4 because it's a whip and 3 starts as far as evening, making sure that it's even when I pull. So maybe I'll just pull, no, I'll pull another 8. Okay, anyway. All right, to Dreamland. That is one of the vintage patterns that I have from Stony Creek, I believe. Ooh, this one, really, long have I waited, which I'm excited for. I am not excited for the tiny number again. Boo. Another Christmas ornament. This one is out of that book. Candles. And, ooh, Tiny Modernist day signs. 1,200 of those. So, okay, let me go ahead and pull the next 8. I'm going to keep these actually separate from those. Am I? No, you know what? I'm going to film on Sunday. I want to get back to weekly filming again. And I think that'll help. Like if I just, yes, I will film on Sunday. So let me get this stuff out of my way. We'll go ahead and pull the next round and leave out what I need to serge. So I'll be right back in half a second. JK, I missed one. I forgot that I had worked on, when I very first started stitching again, I was actually still running a fever, but I wasn't like, it hadn't quite broken, but it wasn't as high, like, to keep me in bed. I had no brain capacity to look at a pattern or anything. So I brought out, this China kit, Underwater World. This is the one that Suki had borrowed for when she was having some issues with, you know, brain capacity and being able to stitch on a regular pattern. I have no idea how many stitches I put in. Not a clue. Again, I was not counting. I just wanted to stitch and put some stitches in, and that's what I did. I will try and find a before shot. I'll have to go through my notes. I think, have I worked on this since the whip parade? I don't know, I'll have to look. But there's where I'm at. So, this is the top of the waves. Excuse me, there's the sun. And we've got the sky and the clouds kind of doing their thing. So, yeah, not super exciting, but that's what I worked on. It's hard to show these printed kits. Okay. Right, now I've shown you everything I've worked on. Or did, oh, I forgot. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting all sorts of stuff, guys. I had got, oops, throwing stuff. Sorry, really loud crinkling. Should have taken that out first. I had gotten this 939 cone. I think this came after my last video. I think, I'm pretty sure. But this is what I ordered off of 123, or not 123 Stitch Lies. Ordered from AliExpress. It was $10 for this cone. This is, let me find it. Oh, not that one. It's on the one. Okay. Oh, where did it? Oh, it's over here. Let me grab my. There it is. Is this? I'm pretty sure this is the DMC version. So DMC's is a little more purple. This is not the same as 823. 823 is still very distinct. Again, it's more purple, so their version of 939 is more of a dark blue and more of a true navy, to be honest. I think it's going to look fine, as long as it's not mixed, obviously. But I wanted to go ahead and do some test stitching for it, because I know there was a few folks who had expressed interest in, well, how's it going to look? So I went ahead and did some unplanned stitching on Birth of a Star, because that's the project that I bought the cone for. And I put in about 500 stitches. And that is what it looks like. And this is a 28 count casual linen that this is stitched on 1/1. And I think the coverage is comparable to DMC. I don't think it's as thick as CXC is. I personally have never used CXC, so I cannot vouch for sure. But I can see. Actually, I can't see. Just kidding. I don't even know what. Like the holes that you're seeing in the camera, I cannot see those. Like when I look at it, there are no holes. So yeah, I mean, that's a really dark blue, and I think it's going to look just fine as the background for this piece. So I would say that particular store is, you know, again, you're probably not going to be able to mix colors as far as, oh, I've run out of this thread and I still have a ton that you're going to want to match it as best you can. But as a standalone color, I'm pretty happy with this, and I would be willing to purchase more of their colors to see, especially like the grays, how far off the grays are, because grays are really hard to match. Even DMC over the years has variations of the same dye lot, like wildly different. Okay. Oh, you know what? Throwing a wrench in my own works. I'll go ahead and show you what else I got. I just picked up, I had ordered and received just a couple more things. I actually got another silk pack from AliExpress for the yellows that I was going to use for the Sampler 229. So I have that now. Now I just need fabric for that project. And then, you saw this earlier. This is 5.5 yards of 32 count fabric. And I have 2 of them. Because I have more new starts planned for next year. I don't know if I will ever go through all of that, but I have it. And the reason I got 2 is because there was like a 20% discount if I got 2 instead of 1. So yeah. And this looks like the same, really, as far as I'm concerned, really good quality of 32 count. I will not lie, I have not measured it yet because I got it when I was really sick still. I'm going to be cutting out my new start for tomorrow that's taking the spot of the Bluebird is from WinkenBlinkenNOdd on Etsy. That is also a model stitch that I'm doing. She, as far as I know, is still looking for model testers, so she's got her information in her Etsy listings if you're interested. I am doing this, I picked to start of the 3 that I got, Misty Castle on a Lake. I'll put a picture here. It's got 69 colors. A lot of them are light. It is 422 by 596. So I will measure the fabric in several spots over a wide, not just 1 inch, but I will measure over several inches when I'm cutting and marking this tomorrow, and get back with you on how accurate it is to 32 count. The other shop, theirs was more of a 30 count fabric, and it did have a slight warp to it, to where it was like longer than it was wide, not by much, but I know that would be a deal breaker for a lot of people. So excuse me. On this shop's listing, they did have, like, in their description, they actually had rulers to show the count of each fabric, that it was accurate. So again, I will measure this and get back with you when I film again, on how accurate it is. But as far as the quality goes, it looks very similar to the same quality as the other 32 count that I have from AliExpress, and I really like it. Like, it's not obviously top quality, you know, 32 count linen that you get from, you know, our hand dyers and things. But as far as a budget fabric goes, I'm very happy with it. I paid $100 for 11 yards of 32 count fabric. That is going to last me for a long time. So yeah, if you have any questions about that, feel free to message, you know, to comment below. I did also have a question. Here's some tangents coming, guys. I did have a question about how I mark my fabric. I do have a video that I will try to remember to also link. I rewatch my videos, so I just have to say it and I'll know it to do it. But I will link this shop below. Again, I won't know for sure how accurate it is until next video. But I don't remember who it was, but she asked what I used to grid my full coverage piece, or just in general. And I have talked about these before, but I use Pilot friction pens. This one is the 0.5 millimeter pen. And this one is the 0.7 millimeter pen. This I use on 25 count and lower. This I use on 28 count and higher. The 32 count is hard to grid, just in general. Simply because this is too thick for it. This is thin enough for it, but because it's so thin, it tends to catch a little bit more, so it takes a little bit more patience to grid with it. But in my book, it's totally worth it. It really does not take that much time. It does iron out. I did talk about before, there has been some issues with if it's left in the sun, like thermal paper, it will not reactivate the ink, but it will turn brown. It degrades the ink because the ink doesn't go away. It just goes transparent. So I don't recommend it for non-full coverage pieces because you can kind of see like a ghost image where that ink is still laying. But for full coverage pieces, I will friction pen all day long. Or not grid at all, as per those other couple of pieces. I may end up putting a grid in the future. I don't know, but anyways, I think that was the only extras that I wanted to talk about that I had forgotten to talk about. Yes, so, okay, now I'm going to go put stuff away and pull these other projects to show you, and then I will talk a little bit about what's coming up. No, I think I'm going to do the board. I think I'm going to wrestle it. I think I'm feeling good enough to, so yeah. It's time, so I'll be back. Okay, so A Ride to Dreamland is the technical name, and it is charted by Stony Creek. I forgot to see if there was who the designer is. I don't know if it's the same person. Gay Bowles, maybe? I'm not 100% sure who the designer is, but Stony Creek put it out. Sorry. Okay. That one. And there's Kreinik and blending filament and what else is in here? I don't think there's any beads in here though. That's that one. You know, I should probably do a floss toss before I start this, because this is the fabric that I have for it. I don't know if those colors are going to go well, guys. I don't know what kind of crack I was smoking when I pulled this for that. So I'll do a floss toss. This may or may not be an actual start. We'll see. This is one of the ones by Sunny Dyes. I don't think she's in business anymore. But it's called Fairies Daybreak. It's a 28 count casual linen. So yeah, we'll do a... Because I can't remember if I did a floss toss for that one or not. I feel like I should have, but I don't know. Excuse me. Alright. Long Have I Waited is by Christy Grandjean, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Here. I love this piece. There's several very similar dragon pieces, and I know that's like, why not just pick your favorite and stitch one, and then you won't have to worry about, you know, outliving your projects outliving you, or your whips outliving you. That I don't have a favorite. That's the problem. I'm just going to be doing it on a 25 count even weave. And then here is where Face of a Mermaid is. I'm not sure where I'm going to work on her. I will probably, oh my god, I will probably work on these stupid park threads. That's probably going to be my goal. But there's Face of a Mermaid. I will have put it up. But here's the progress on her to remind you where I was. Yeah, I will probably, because my method of working on projects as far as parking threads is different, and that's bugging me. Look at this. I just left it. Really? Yeah. So she's getting 1,100 stitches. So hopefully I will. Oh, hi. Hopefully I will actually be able to get some of those worked in. Okay, next is Day Signs by Tiny Modernist. I'm just going to be putting these on one fabric, one piece of fabric, so this is going to count as one whip. And then I'm just putting this on a, looks like a 28 count China fabric. I need to get black fabric for my night signs. And then the last one is Victorian Charm. This was also another whip. It's a Dimensions kit. I had started this mania 2 years ago now. Forever ago. I'm just using the kit stuffs. 18 count Navy Ada. And I just have a small center start here. I will be scanning the pattern in, and yeah, it's not full coverage, so it's not going to have like a true stitch count, but I'll be able to see like the progress of how much stitching I have. So that'll be nice. And that's just right in here. Does that start? Okay. Now I need to figure out how far back I need to go for marking off the board. So I will be back after I figure that out, and we will wrestle that board. I'll have to figure something out. You know what? I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do. Okay, I got tired, so I'm on the floor, and that took some finagling. Okay. So, in no particular order, because I absolutely despise putting things in alphabetical order. Alright, we got Canopy Heart. Okay, Canopy Heart. Emotion Bottle. For the record, this is just as awkward sitting on this side as it is the other side. Fire and Ice Horses. Paint hasn't gotten flowing very well. Okay. Okay, Stocking Gnome. Now this actually took the place of one of the gems, if you are new here. So there was a before ornaments that I realized I didn't have materials for, so I put in more of the gnomes. So that one was number 28. Okay. Birth of a Star. Just put my finger in the paint. Four Seasons. You can see that, okay. Bald Eagle. Polar Bear. That's on the other side. And that's also on the other side. Okay. What did I do with the other there? Okay. Blue Morpho Butterfly. Whoa. Bluebird on Thorn Branch. Okay. Now, Jess from Stitches of Sass, oh, man down, sorry, had a fantastic idea. I don't know if this is exactly what she had in mind, but I was like, this is what I'm doing with them. I bought stars. Holographic stars for my finishes. So, Bluebird on Thorn Branch. Got a star. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh gosh. Oh, today is a disaster. You fell out of my folder. I've been having trouble with it today. Sorry for how choppy this video is. Okay. That star right there. Just when I think my coughing is done. And a star there. Oh man. Okay. Where are we at? Golden-eyed fairy. By Lauren Lane. So many cross-offs. This is awesome. Flower mason bar. You get a star. Can't have a rip star. It's not cooperating. Open. Was it finished? Okay. Gnome Ornaments. Horse ornament. Why do they gotta all be on the bottom? Here. Okay, now we got the back. And some butterfly. In the garden. Sorry, I'm using my chair that you're on to pump the stuffs. Oh yeah, Leap of Faith was on there. Forgot to write it down. Fuchsia. There we go. I just have 3 candles now. Okay. Songs under the cherry tree. This one. Or did I? No, I didn't. Just kidding. I'm getting lost in what I've gotten crossed off and what I don't. Woodland Enchantress. Veil Nebula. Springtime Splendor. Wedding Favors. Man, I'm so happy to have those done. Should put 10 stars on. Oh, man, down. You get 2. You get 2 silver stars. Okay. All right, Shaman. Sampler 229 is getting crossed off, but it was a UFO. But I did stitch it, so it still counts, right? Raccoon. Summertime Fairy. And that, nope, yes, nope, yes, yes, okay. That is everything updated and crossed off. And I left my markers over there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 projects. Plus the 2, 31 in the last month. I worked on a project a day. Technically more than one project a day. Pardon my butt. Oh good, my butt's not really in there. But, what marker did I use last time? Probably that one. Yes, yes. Forgot to shake it again. Okay. Okay. What did I say? 29? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 41 goals out of lots. 312, something like that. Many more to go, but I'm really happy with the progress. Okay, I want to go back to the chair. Be right back. Okay, that felt very satisfying to finally get a bunch of those crossed off. Even though, you know I'm doing them, like seeing it happen and doing it that's really satisfying. Okay, so I don't know how much more I got in me, but I did want to talk a little bit about what's coming up. So April the 8th, in just a couple of weeks, we've got the full eclipse. The total eclipse that is swathing its way across the United States, Mexico, and Canada. The total portion of it is actually going right over our house. We are not like the full, I think 7 minutes is the full totality that you get if you're right smack dab in the center. We get about 3 minutes. But we are having a hammock hang at our house with our closest hammocking family for that weekend. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm not going to be able to spend much time of it up top because it is supposed to be in the 30s overnight. And we don't think that my lungs can handle that kind of cold yet. So I'll just be out at the peak day because it is supposed to be in the 50s Fahrenheit during the day. So that will be nice. Yeah, so we've got one of our friends coming up that is going to provide everyone with solar eclipse glasses. So that's really cool. Yeah, so that's coming up. And then the last weekend of April, I believe, no, not the last weekend. Is it the last weekend? You're on my phone. I can't see my calendar. Is it on my tablet? I don't know if my calendars are synced. Sure aren't. Okay. Anyway, weekend A of Stitch North is coming up shortly after that, and I am so looking forward to it. Man, I went last year and had a ball, but it was a little overwhelming because excuse me, because there's like 350 people there. I am a little bit paranoid about getting sick again, just because of the mass of people. But I think, you know, I'm not gonna let it deter me from going or anything. Yeah, life has been, I've been sick. What can I say? I've lived in PJs for almost a month and a half, and I never thought I would get sick of wearing PJs, but I am ready for real clothes, and I'm, my belly, again, is still a little bit sore from, from all the coughing. I did put on pants about a week ago, and where my pants sits is right on where that main incision was, and that was just really uncomfortable. So, and I was really, really sore the next day, so I'm like, not ready. Yeah, I should start sharing some of my husband's work related stories. So he's got this coworker, and I don't know why they still have this particular person. Apparently they're having trouble hiring in that area. I don't know. He is not worth his weight in lead. Because this guy will go and sleep on the clock. Like, they have a couch. Okay, so my husband works in a country club in the kitchen. And this guy will come on the clock at like 1 o'clock. My husband gets there. No, this guy gets there at like, yeah, around the same time as my husband. And he'll get there, he'll make himself something to eat, and then he'll go outside and smoke for like half an hour. And then he'll come back in and do a couple of things, you know, half hour or so. And then he'll disappear for like 4 hours of his shift. And most of the time, John will find him sleeping on this couch that they have in like the storage area or like a basement or something. Well, there was a couch somewhere. Apparently the chef, the head chef, went kind of Hulk on that couch and busted up into pieces. I'm like, why don't you just fire the guy? He's worried that they're not going to have enough help because, I mean, you know, during a rush, he is there, sort of. Sleep groggy. I'm like, yeah, by the time he comes back onto his shift, there's like an hour and a half left before they close. It's ridiculous. My husband is not impressed. But yeah, other than that, life has been routine. So I'm pretty sure this is a ridiculously long video. This clip itself is an hour long. So I'm going to announce the winner of the giveaway that has been overdue, so far overdue. I wanted to close it the 25th of February, but that's when I got sick. So I did already draw the winner. I have talked about this before, why I don't do live draws on my... I did a couple of times, but I had to cut some stuff out because of things. So you're just going to have to take my word that I drew and drew fairly. I mean, people can just edit stuff to be what they want it to be. You're just, yeah, whatever. So anyways, if you're new, part of my requirements, one of my requirements for a giveaway is that you fill out a Google form that has your YouTube name and your email address so that I can match you up and make sure the proper person is getting the prize. So luckily, the first person I drew this time was on the Google form, and that is, I'm not sure if her name is pronounced Angela or if it's Angelia, but Angela Johnston. Her YouTube handle is here. I'll put it on the screen so you can match it up if I butchered your name. So congratulations to Angelia, Ms. Johnston. You have won the $30 gift card to, did I say 123 Stitch or did I just say wherever? I'll have to go back and look. It's been so long. I don't remember. I know it was $30. And I can't remember if it was to like specifically 123 Stitch or if I was going to do your choice. So I'll go rewatch that and email you. Please be sure to keep an eye out for that email. I will email you probably a day after this goes live, and just so that you are aware to look for, well, you know, whatever. I'll email you now or when it goes live. Decisions are hard right now, guys. But I will email you. Please be sure to email me back so that I know you're going to get the gift card okay and all that. I just like to confirm that before I just send it off into the ether. So yeah, congratulations. Thank you so much for participating. And thank you to everyone who participated in the giveaway. I have not like hearted or commented or anything on most of those comments, which I do apologize for. I think I've got an entire video's worth of the last video no, I think I've responded to some, but then I was just too sick to even look at it, to be honest. I have read everybody's comments, and I love, even though it takes me forever sometimes to respond, I absolutely love getting the comments and the questions and the interactions. So, you know, if you have anything, you know, say hi or whatever, stick it in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. But yeah, thank you so much for participating in that. And again, if you have made it this far, kudos, because this was probably kind of a rough video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I mean, taking the time out of your day to watch me with my froggy voice when there are so many other great Flosstubers out there. I am humbled and honored that you do that. If you have made it this far and haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Would love to have you along as well. And yeah, you guys take care. Stay healthy. Stay healthier than I am. And like I said, my goal is to film again on Sunday. Life has a way of throwing crap in the way, so hopefully I can keep that goal. I really enjoyed filming once a week. It was easy on my brain. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video. Take care, and thanks again for watching. Bye.